Poppino? What's Poppino? Zeke Black is in the building. Yesterday was a dope reunion to some content that was created a couple of years ago. It comes from the Snow Billy. When I contacted Snow Billy and had him do an interview on somebody on somebody's network, it wound up going viral. And then I remember when Miss Tr3yWay, she called up to, whatever Snow Billy had to say about her, she had to call the platform to, defend whatever Snow Billy said. Her and Billy out there. You know what I'm saying? That was like 2-3 years ago when Snow Billy went viral on the internet. Let me go on to now. We got the Tr3yWay situation. And shout out to Miss Tr3yWay. Shout out to Harlem Legend. That's the Black Valenzuela. You know what I'm saying? He was in the building yesterday, getting crazy, getting busy. China 050, China Brim. What I'm gonna say is, man, you know what I'm saying? It's weird because you hear some time later the new developments from the situation. We heard about Roll Murder dropping his flag, but then now just hearing about Mel Matrix dropping his flag. That was some new developing information. Shout out to Miss Tr3yWay for passing that information along. And he's having a conversation, but I don't get caught up too much in the gang conversation. But definitely shout out to 050. He definitely got the streets. You know what I'm saying? The streets is listening, they're paying attention. It was a dope reunion. You know what I'm saying? And I'm happy to say that but I created the content. You know what I'm saying? The content came from Zeke Black. It's just somebody else did the interview, and then it went viral, and then people was able to tap in and touch the content. Now, touching in on the content, right? We know that there were some bad decisions made by Mel Matrix. And one of the worst decisions that he may have made in his whole life, amongst many others, was he co-signed the individual who winded up sending him to jail. That might have been the worst thing. What the fuck is he doing, man? That might have been the worst thing that he did. He was just bugging out, driving crazy, man. The worst thing that he may have ever done was he co-signed CEO Chris. CEO Chris is why he went to jail, not so much because of 6ix9ine. When Gato sent word that CEO Chris was snitching, Harv told Mel, put his investigation on. I don't know how they pulled this off. They must have sent Gato to the box or something, or must have stopped his communication and coming to the streets. But the feds, and this is an actual crime, you can check this out on Crown Courts TV. The feds put together some paperwork, stating that they gave to Gato, that Gato gave to Mel Matrix, and they confirmed that in his eyes he wasn't telling. Now, you got to keep this in mind, that Gato did not have a fake case, he has a state case. Freedom man, you know what I'm saying? He was 9 Ch from Spanish Harlem, so on. Now, so when Mel allowed the individual to come in, the guy's whole plan was to take down the leaders of 9 Ch in the streets. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. The man that he co-signed was the same man who sent him to jail. And you guys gotta watch. You guys gotta learn to listen to individuals. You know what I'm saying? Now, do I think that Mel Matrix dropping his flag is a bad thing? I don't know why he dropped it. I guess Miss Tr3yWay said because he wanted to light his sentence, and that might even be the fact. But I'm gonna be honest with you, man. He sent himself to jail. You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about it. He went to jail. He actually hung out with the guy who was sending him to jail. And sometimes you don't like to listen to people. When somebody tells you somebody's no good, you have to go with the gut. Now this is what I say. I say that sometimes we get caught up in the bag. yo, he getting too much money for that. You know what I'm saying? And we cloud our memory. That's like the cosign. Remember, Nuke co-signed 6ix9ine first. Then I don't know what happened politically, but then Mel Matrix wound up putting him under his wing. But still, it really wasn't a Mel Matrix, because when you hear the Wiretap, even Mel said, yo, that's shoddy situation. So the way it sounds, Wiretap wise, 6ix9ine was a shoddy, was basically under shoddy. You know what I'm saying? It's just that Mel Matrix felt disrespected. Like, yo, you know, the whole Tr3yWay thing, dudes are sleeping on the floor and all that other, the other disrespect. Now, that might have been the biggest fumble with the bag, but Mel Matrix was going to jail regardless. Sorry to say this, because the guy that actually, it wasn't like CEO Chris got caught with them and then told. He was actually the Donnie Brasco of that situation. And you gotta listen to dudes sometime, man. You gotta listen to dudes. Now, I also heard her say that, shout out to Miss Tr3yWay, that she said that Jim Jones wasn't down move. I don't know. She may have a point on that. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not in no wiretaps at all. But that one was 6ix9ine. That he actually says about, yo, let's violate him. You know what I'm saying? He's not in no Magoo situation. You can't find a piece of paperwork. Shout out to 050 China Brim Movement. You heard he in the building, they here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Harlem Legend. You heard Platinum Shine. You know what I'm saying? Today, I woke up this morning and realized I had 1 million views. 1 million views may not mean nothing to nobody, but it means a lot to me. I put a lot of work in. But don't get it twisted. In the atmosphere of YouTube, due to other channels and content out there that I pushed and put out there, I'm responsible for over 10 million views, probably close to over 20 million views. So I'm the guy that on a Thursday, because we put some content together, I'm able to entertain a lot of you folks on YouTube. Doesn't matter the channel, even channels I don't deal with no more. If it wasn't for my content, they won't have 30, 40 million views that I brought to the table, that they was able to piggyback off. You know what I'm saying? I got nothing to do with the leg work, but if I open the block, it's still Zeke Black open the block. That's the thing, that's how this thing goes. If I open the block, it's just like Carrero. He was like making dudes pay. I opened the block. You want to hustle here, you got to pay me. Definitely, thank you, salute. Back to the content. Shout out, rest in peace, Carrero. Shout out to the boss. So let's be clear in the context. If you open the block, whoever opened the block will always get those accolades, no matter how it flies around. So now, definitely, Mel Matrix made a nasty mistake. He didn't go with his gut feeling. Now with 6ix9ine, that situation is crazy. That situation is crazy because he wasn't about that life, and they want him to prove that he was about that life. I don't know what they was trying to prove, but you don't bring him on. You're putting in pain with a rookie. But this is the worst part about it. His issue didn't come from putting in work as a rookie. His situation came from one guy in prison removing another guy from a position and then telling them, like, yo, you ain't got to see them no more. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that created some anger with Harv and them, and that's why, you know, allegedly they kidnapped him and busted him over the head 8-9 times and took his jewels. You know what I'm saying? These guys, you know, sometimes, man, we have these organizations, we have these gangs, but you gotta have an actual plan. I think the money came too fast. Something that China said earlier that's serious. Like, yo, these guys join these gangs, you know, we all joining the game, but you gotta have a purpose. A lot of guys don't have a real purpose. So now you're in a position without a purpose. Like, that's like giving somebody some work and then you're beating up on them every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lesson learned. But one thing I'm going to say, yo, is that there's a lot of paperwork out there. You definitely got the CEO Chris paperwork. I heard they're supposed to be doing paperwork parties. Exactly. They're supposed to be, exactly. You got to have a plan, because you'll never know when you're going to get status. And then look what happens. The 6ix9ine happens. Oh shit, what are we gonna do here? Let's have the bag put in some work to show he's gangster to the world. This is what these dudes is doing. They get into the bag, right? They got the plan, but then they're jumping out the window to prove that they're really gang. And it's now it's getting silly now. Like Mel Matrix, you should have dropped your flag in the street for all that. You know what I'm saying? Find something legal to do. You should have dropped your flag in the street. And this is weird, man, because no, this is the non-trade. This was the call for non-trade we heard for many years. But I would have thought that Mel would have fought back from non-trade after the situation that happened the first time with Nuke. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like around 010 or 11, but he stood around. I thought he fought back then, but he didn't. He stood around for, you know, he still came back. I guess I don't know if he left or came back. But the funny part is, Jim Jones really do look like the mascot of non-trade. And it's funny because Jimmy mad right now because they're not letting. I guess the BET Awards don't want him there this year. I guess he could go next year, but I guess I don't know whatever happened. And I guess he's a little upset. But you know, sometimes, man, I realize that these gang ties, sometimes some cosigns, they really do mean to a lot of people. So when the cosign is gone, you're just a regular guy again. You know what I'm saying? Definitely rest in peace to all the real white Billies, like Fox, Chi-Chi, you know, rest in peace to those guys. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Frank White from GKB. They got murdered in Schenectady, New York. I think the early 2000s, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Killer B. He ain't dead though, but Killer B, the Rilla, the big Rilla. You know what I'm saying? But if you listen, if this gang thing that you guys are jumping into, at any given time something can happen, you have to be ready. Status change. Somebody in the crew gets a record deal. What you gonna do, crash out? They crashed out. The same thing with Casanova. He was too much active of a gang member, Casanova. He was too much active. Like, yo, bro, I understand you called me. I'm not connected with nobody. I'm not sitting around. You know what I'm saying? Because what happens is, how out of 1,000 gang members you need me to call somebody to get punched in the mouth? Why are you calling me to get somebody to bag? So you have to understand that a lot of times you guys got to understand that what position are you really playing in these games? You got the bag. The big homie going to run with you even if you don't want to deal with you. Here, take $1,000. You see what happened with Hellrell? When Hellrell was first came in that Mac and he was talking crazy about Hellrell, he sent a check to your man before they had beef. The man Larry O, everything smoothed out for a couple of months. He had to be the Big Mac for a couple of months in the street. He wasn't a Big Mac, but he was safe. Definitely shout out to my man Disco out there. You heard me? That was out there for all that. DQ Mommy in the building. Wolfgang is here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Wifey Southern Belle. She outside. You heard? West Side St. Louis. This is just something to grow on, party people. Seriously, I need y'all something to grow on. With that being said, man, we'll go live later. Go check out China Brim's page. We had the reunion yesterday. It's back to the... And I felt good because I actually created the content from that. It's no Billy. Then, you know, Miss Tr3yWay, she called in. And then from Miss Tr3yWay, it just went so on and so on and so on. You know what I'm saying? Then Miss Tr3yWay, then we had Corey King up there. Actually, I had Gangsta Lou pull up, but Gangsta Lou wasn't talking about no 6ix9ine stuff. Then we had my man, Kev Mo from the Blazers, he called up. So that's a lot of content that I've brought to YouTube. I'm like the agent, you know what I'm saying? The special agent, the agent. I'm like Mr. I'm like the what would they say? I'm like the William Morris of YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Hassan Campbell for always supporting me. He jumped on my platform anytime. Info Minds. You know what I'm saying? Ice Coleon, he always supported me. He did a bunch of interviews. Shout out to my OSB Gambinos that did an interview with me from Albany. You know what I'm saying? My man, you know what I'm saying? My man's in them. From On Street. Turtle for pulling up. My man Shine Outlaw, he did an interview. My man Fatso Brim from 62's Empire Brim. He pulled up to do some interviews. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? My man Crown Courts TV, of course, family. You know what I'm saying? We here, party people. Just gonna keep the movement moving, you heard? And with that being said, let's stay up, respect the game. I'm at work though, getting that baby love, you heard? Check out China Brim content, easy.